YouTube, hello, welcome on in. My name is Chris.
And I'm Johnny.
We are your number one entrance for sports entertainment content here on YouTube. Back again after a small hiatus that neither of us planned with episode 11 of the podcast. Yeah, life gets in the way and it sucks because
Hey, we unfortunately have jobs, all right?
yeah, we have jobs outside of what we would like to be our job. So,
Who are we? Deadlock Pro Wrestling?
Christ.
It's a call out, I guess.
A little bit of admin before we get into everything. And I'm just saying this for the sake of saying it. Hey, there were supposed to be 3 more parts of our GM mode from 2K23. 2K25 came out like today or yesterday or is out this week. You're probably not seeing those other 3 episodes just because, like, not really going to upload 3 episodes of a game from 2 years ago. But hopefully we'll start doing some stuff in 25 here. I just picked it up the other day, so, and I am excited. But yeah, other than that, we are today, March 10th, going to go over everything that happened at AEW Revolution yesterday. All of the good, all of the bad, and everything in between. And there's just enough bad that it's a problem.
Unfortunately, this bad happened in the main event mostly.
Yeah. Oh my God. We'll get to it, but oh my God.
A little bit on the pre-show, but we're just glossing over that.
Yeah. So, yeah, pre-show. I think the only things really to bring up of note, because I refuse to acknowledge the Costco guys as anything in wrestling. Hey, they're gonna probably run back Cole and Garcia for the TNT title with the way that match ended, huh?
Very true.
Yeah.
Also found out yesterday that's not very hard to get AEW merch for
God,
yourself,
man.
at least. So,
Johnny, I said we weren't going to acknowledge them, please.
hey, I'm that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing.
Oh my
We're
God.
acknowledging Garcia, we're acknowledging Cole. Who Garcia seems a bit full of himself lately.
Yeah, I like it though. I like the ego. It suits him in it suits him in a way that it didn't suit him when he was with Jericho. You know what I mean?
All ego Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
We can run with it.
Well, I mean, we really can't though, because that used to be Ethan Page's thing.
No, I know. Where
Is
is
he
he now
still?
though?
Is
Check
he?
him
I
out Wednesdays on NXT.
thought it was on Tuesdays.
I don't know, Chris. I don't watch the product.
I'm pretty sure he's NXT champion. I thought, or North American champion.
No, Obafemi is NXT champion.
Ew.
He might he might be North American champion.
He definitely
Again,
won a belt recently from him. Femi might have taken it off of him, actually. I don't know.
no, if I remember correctly, Trick Williams took it back from Ethan Page, and then Obafemi beat Trick Williams.
Mm.
I do
Anyways,
watch the product. I just don't remember days.
fair
They all
enough.
blur together. But
True.
anyways,
That's how 3 months goes by without us recording one of these. So,
let's queue up and kick down the door for this revolution, as the kids would
yeah.
say.
So, before we get into the match to match, overall, across everything, where do you stack this compared to like scale of 1 to 10? Where do you place this? Where do you put this pay per view?
That's where it's a little difficult for me personally, because you look at everything, this entire card, great up until the finish.
Mm-hmm.
But you take away the last card or last match on this card, it's like a 9 or 8 or 9, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're running a storyline that culminates in the main event with your world champion, and after you've had Osprey, Kenny, Tony, the Outrunners, Swerve, Monet, MJF, all on this card competing, giving us a great match, and you give us a dud, I gotta say 7. I can't put any higher because you arrive for this event to watch every single match and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And then you go home at the very end of the night with that. It's a stinker.
Yeah. It's one of those things. If you had moved this, if you had slotted Mox, if you had slotted the world title just after the number one contenders match and ran it the exact same way,
Mm-hmm.
no one would have given a shit.
Yeah, there's never a reason. I get it's the old guard of like it's your world title, you want to put them on last. you put the best matches on last. You don't have to have to be the world title.
Hell, Max defended the world title as second to last before.
Yeah,
And his
you
whole
could have.
reasoning was because he didn't want to swim around in combat club blood.
Hell, I would even taken that match to kick off the show because it's like then it builds towards everything else for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
But you decided to put it on last, and I think it was a very bad decision to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I saw a really good comment about it last night after we were done watching of like, as much as the end of it sucked, don't let that take away from everything else you just watched. Right?
Exactly.
Because other than that match, there is not a bad match on this main card. Like, this is one of the
There's
this is one of the few times where I think they had the formula down, except for that finale.
Mhm. There are predictable finishes to this, like
Oh,
who's going to win.
100%. Yeah.
But I wouldn't take it away from like the matches themselves. Like they were fantastic. Like we'll get to obviously some of the more notable obvious winners and losers, but there was again talent across the board showing up and showing out for LA,
Hmm.
and you got to respect it.
Even when Fight.com decided and Triller decided to fuck the feed up the first few matches, that was fun.
Very true. Very true. That was give and go last night, I will say.
Yeah, I was getting worried that we were gonna fucking miss out on some stuff.
But hey, we'll find out if it's going to be a feed thing or if it's a website hosting thing when Dynasty rolls around.
True. Very true.
But I think it's time to roll into the kickoff. You know, the two gentlemen that set the precedence for the rest of the night.
Oh yeah. Dude, Hangman MJF in what is I'm really hoping to be a feud that will last the next 6 months. Cause
Yeah.
these two I don't think have really crossed much paths before this, not for any extended period. And like, God, they put on a show. And the fact that there's no stipulation to this match, if they run this as like a Texas death match at All In, or if they run this as like a
I
no
have you,
DQ, any of that,
I feel
oh
like
my God.
we're getting Texas death match at all in because it's in Texas as well. So
Yeah.
you got to give it to them.
Yeah. The, like, I think the only other fun way that you could run this, like, Texas Deathmatch seems like the perfect combination, especially considering Hangman is like the Texas Deathmatch guy in AEW, having only lost one of them to Swerve. But if you, the other fun way you go with this,
Mm-hmm.
if they're both willing, because we haven't had one in a while, is you run it eventually, not their next match, but probably at All In would be the smartest. Both of these two have fucking beef with Punk. Run it as a dog collar match. Like
I could see that.
bring that back of like you've done one of the like Hangman being like you've done one of these before against the person we both despise.
Mm-hmm.
Like you now despise me in a way that you despised him. Let's settle it. Let's settle it the same way. But who knows? But yeah, these two, it's a banger 20-minute match to start. And like,
We get nods to other wrestlers, like going into the finish, of course. We'll talk more about the match, but going to the finish, Hangman pulling out the wing clipper from Christopher Daniels to
mm-hmm,
be put in retirement right before he hits the buckshot.
yeah,
It looked brutal as hell, too,
yeah,
because MJF looked like he ate nothing but canvas from his face.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it's brutal. But yeah, and it's like, it's nice though, because like, and I think the reason we're going to get more of it is it is a surprisingly clean match considering the history they like considering the build to this match.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Max is about ready to light Hangman on fire before this match. And then you get a very clean wrestling match, no diamond ring interference, very little of Max's typical cheeky bullshit, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I'm like, this is not over on just a 1-0
No,
win for
you
Hangman.
you can't just walk away from this being like, oh, all right, we're moving on. No, 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 no. especially these are your two of your top talents in this entire company.
Hmm.
You have to stick with this, especially because we're going into what I would pretty much call their mania.
Yeah, the
Obviously, you
road to
don't have
All In.
their main event pay-per-view.
Yeah,
So,
like you've got Dynasty along the way, but after Dynasty, it's like you're just straight gunning to All In, and it's like you got to start building a banger card.
mhm. I wonder. I don't know if you would run them back so quickly at Dynasty. I imagine you would want them on the card at Dynasty, but I don't know. Like, do you give them like a cooldown a little bit, have them potentially have a face-off? But I don't know if you run them
Oh,
in a Dynasty.
I have a really fun fantasy booking.
Hit me.
All right, I'm gonna set the scene for you. Dynasty rolls around. We know for a fact, unless they do it early, Swerve is number one contender for the world title against Mox.
Ooh,
That
true.
that is fact. Dynasty is the pay-per-view that Swerve beat or Swerve won his world title the first time. Hangman has vowed for Swerve to never hold that title again. That is a promise he has made time and time again that Swerve will not be world champion again. Come next month, guaranteed all of the Death Riders will be back in full force.
Hmm.
Let's say hypothetically Swerve has some form of backup to stop the Death Riders. All the Death Riders are knocked from ringside. None of them are able to interfere. Swerve is about to get the upper hand, beat Mox. Hangman, fulfilling that promise, tries to stop him. Max, knowing it would burn Hangman, stops Hangman. Swerve wins the belt. So now
Ooh.
Max has basically denied Hangman the vow he made to keep
This,
their feud going without either of them having to actually compete.
yeah, because I feel like running these three straight, pretty much month to month to month, with little time to. Well, you'll have time to build, of course, but it's like, do you really want to run this potential trios of matches 1 month, and 1 month?
This is a trilogy that, if you stretch it out, can be some of the most entertaining content you have for easily most of 2025.
I agree. But we'll have to definitely see is the thing, because I'm just like, this is bread and butter for these two, because
Hmm.
they can be volatile, they can be angry. MJF on the mic, probably one of the best in the company, without
Oh,
even
yeah. Those
being around.
promos, the promos going after this match are going to be fucking brutal because, like, I don't think Max has really touched too much on the drinking side of Hangman yet, and that's going to be a sore spot that he is going to just, once he gets in there, he's just going to press into it like no tomorrow.
For sure, because again, for a good period of time, Hanger stopped drinking, and then now he's kind of back on the sauce a little bit, falling off, and then just he's an angry cowboy. So it's like
Hmm.
there's a deep well of insults you can just throw around.
Yeah, and again, especially that shared history with Punk, like, and Max is not afraid to acknowledge that shit. So it's going to be, if they build this right and they give them time to cook on the mic, oh, this is going to be a fun few months. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. And again, no title involved. I want to specify that
Hmm.
because it's not hard to build rivalries without titles. Some people deem it necessary. Like the biggest rivalries should include a prize. Like no, no rivalries. You can just hate people to hate people in
Yeah,
wrestling.
Swerve and Hangman for a long time didn't have the belt,
Yeah, but
but
I
yeah,
believe we have to leave this one right now as it lies because after this we don't kind of know where it's gonna go until
no,
Wednesday night.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah. Speaking of belts,
you mean Mercedes 4 belts?
yeah, Mercedes 5 belts too many Monet. Yeah, look, I get it. I'm all for, like, I love when people are decked in gold, as long as it makes sense, and as long as, like, if you're gonna defend them, like,
Yeah.
there's a few ways you run it when it comes to like a lot of belts or a multi-belt run, and it's like Kenny 7 belts or whatever the hell he was for a while there when they were partnered with TNA. That shit
Hmm.
looks crazy. And it's like the absurdity and the coolness of it comes from the fact that he has that many belts, right? It's either you carry way too many for it to be logical to defend them all, or you
Hmm.
carry enough, or you carry a lot and you're defending them a lot. Great example is when FTR had a tag belt in every promotion except AEW.
Sure.
Like they were ROH, they were New Japan, they were AAA. Unrelated, AAA belts look horrible.
I was about to say I do
Oh my
not miss seeing
god.
belts.
But they were defending those like they were traveling crazy that year. That's why they opted to slow down in 24 because 2023 they were constantly moving to try and keep those belts defended. My
Yeah,
issue with Monet is the fact that she carries 4 belts and she defends 1, which is
yeah.
the TBS.
Because currently she is holding the TBS title, the Rev Pro title, the CMLL Women's Championship, I believe. I don't know the specific title, and then the. You're gonna have to help me on this last one because I remember it is.
It's New Japan. Hold on, let me look up what belt she has.
I believe it's the New
Titles, those.
Japan Never Open Weight Women's Championship or something like that. I'm honestly blanking on what this title is called.
Yeah, so she is currently. She's got TBS, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Championship,
Long
Rev
Women's
Pro
Champion.
Undisputed British Women's Championship. Those are the only 3 the cage match has her on. I don't know what that 4th belt is she's carrying then. It might not be a
Interesting.
CMLL title. Anyways, she's definitely
But
wearing 4 belts right now.
I also look at like specifically like to call one out, the Rev Pro title. She went over there to promote All In,
Yeah,
did a Rev Pro event, won the title, and that's kind of going to be it unless she makes special trips to London to defend that title or any other country to defend that title where Rev
hmm,
Pro runs shows. Because if not, it's just a trinket, like a genuine like trinket that you're just
yeah.
holding
At
on
this
to
point,
a hat.
it's ring attire. It's not a title.
Yeah, and it's like Rev Pro has been going long enough to where it's like you should have some honor in your belts, just a
Yeah,
little bit. And this is not dishonoring it, but I feel like have someone win that title that's going to be at all the Rev Pro events or most Rev Pro events, not
hmm,
just one every maybe 5 or 6 months.
yeah,
Kind of annoying.
yeah. It's I don't know. There's a lot that could be said on Mercedes and her AEW run so far, but that is a discussion for a later date. In the here and the now, though, she actually, for the first time in a while, in my opinion, anyways, put on a fucking banger with Momo Watanabe.
The 24-year-old veteran, Momo
Yeah,
Watanabe.
yeah.
For
Us
those,
finding out before we
yeah,
started that she's been wrestling a decade and she's only 24.
yes. This was a very clean match.
This was,
I enjoyed this match. Mercedes did great. Momo did great. These two went back and forth. Obviously, we're gonna specify this now. This was a match Momo's not gonna win. Not that she's not a good competitor, but she's not with the company. This is just a Stardom individual who they're not gonna get the title to because it's like it's the reverse Mercedes. It's like you're never gonna see that belt again unless you bring her over or you sign her.
yeah.
So.
And this whole match, so the reason this match was even built was because of Wrestle Dynasty, the like 5-way promotion that they ran, or the 5-way pay per view they ran at the start of the year. It was, I just looked it up because I was curious how it got lined up because Wrestle Dynasty was New Japan and Stardom, AEW, ROH, CMLL. It was, so they ran a match that was Watanabe versus Athena versus CMLL's Persephone and Willow Nightingale representing AEW.
Yeah.
The winner of that got a title shot in any promotion. And she wanted to go against Monet for the TBS. Which I
And
think if she had challenged Monet for the New Japan instead, there
mhm.
might have been a different result here because she could have taken the belt back from Stardom, like back to Stardom at that point. But it is that hard part with it's always the muddy part. Like, I love the cross promotion stuff. It is really hard to justify giving your belt to another company for who knows how long.
Yeah, because again, unless you're going to be consistently here, or at least consistent enough to be with this company, you shouldn't be giving people your titles.
Hmm.
Because again, all these titles are technically being featured on TV, on TBS, on TNT. But like outside of them being seen for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, nothing else is happening with them, and it's kind of a bummer.
Hmm.
Because there's no way she's making trips to London, to Japan, along with traveling across the United States to make AEW appearances. It's not going
Yeah.
to happen. A lot of stars just don't want to do that. I also understand that because traveling is a pain in itself.
Yeah.
But if you're going to make yourself champion, or if you're going to accept the responsibilities of being a champion, you have to understand that traveling international is what you're going to have to do with these belts.
Yeah. Right. But, like we were saying, the match itself is an absolute banger. Like,
Mm.
I think, and I could be very wrong on this, but it feels like to me, Monet has finally, like, found her stride and found her groove in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because a lot of people, like, her first few matches, a lot of people were just like, this ain't it, Chief. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I'm not a
because
huge fan of the gimmick. I don't really care for the CEO thing. I think her music is not great because the chant is baked in.
yeah,
But regardless of that, like, this was a good match. Like I said, there aren't any real bad matches till the main event.
no, it is comfortability on both sides. It is believing in your partner in this, and then just going out and having a phenomenal match. And again, for any other title, I see possibility of her winning in AEW, and I would have been excited too because
Hmm.
a Mercedes would have a loss, a very recent loss on her on her sheet, and then you would also have vulnerability a little bit. She
Yeah.
did just lose. She can lose,
Hmm.
so that would be nice. But as of right now, she's seemingly unbeatable, and we don't actually know who she's going up against next because we
Yeah.
have Dynasty coming up very soon. I could probably see, and I wouldn't consider it a dream booking. I could possibly see another outsider from another company facing her at Dynasty
Yeah.
while building up towards who she's going to be fighting it all in.
Hmm. No, I agree with
But
that.
that being said, I don't know who. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, we're in the weird part. Like, I know we kind of compared, like, right now it's like they're building to All In the way that WWE builds to Mania. But I
Hmm.
feel like Dynasty is going to be the catalyst of, like, the fallout of Dynasty becomes the build to All In. But right now we're in that weird, muddy gray zone of, like, who knows, right? Like,
Yeah. What chips do we have to play, and how can we build the best card
yeah.
coming up?
I think if Tony was smart, because he keeps running 2 pay-per-views before All In, I think the smartest way that he could do it going forward, like this year's already too far gone with it. But and I hate to compare formulas because obviously they're two very different products, but there are 2 pay-per-views before Mania.
Hmm.
There are 2 pay-per-views before All In. That should be how you establish the big matches going
Yeah.
into it, right?
Well, because that's what WWE does.
Revolution establishes challenger for the women's or the men's. Dynasty establishes the other.
Yeah.
Done.
And that's okay. Similar formulas or just the same formulas is not a bad thing.
Because you would
You
get
will
there in
have
different ways. You're not running a rumble and a chamber match to get to those results. That's just by the end of these pay-per-views, you will know this person is facing this person at our biggest event of the year, and this person is facing this person at our biggest event of the year. That's
yeah.
fine.
Will you have people on the internet go, "That's the same thing"? Yeah, but don't listen to them. They're annoying.
Yeah.
I'm okay with someone being just a WWE fan or just an AEW fan or a TNA fan or a New Japan fan.
Hell, or an
That's
indie
fine.
show fan.
An indie show fan, you're just like, I want to be a part of the crowd because I want that participation. That's fine. But when you go out of your way to, oh, I love WWE. AEW, what they're doing is dumb, it's stupid, it's redundant, or like they're copying us, or too many stars are going over here and there. It's like, no, enjoy the show you're
Yeah.
watching.
Enjoy wrestling.
Are you allowed to
However you
shit on
consume it, enjoy it.
Are you allowed to shit on it when things are bad and you're watching it? Kind of, yeah. You're allowed to, as what we're doing, picking apart certain things.
Yeah.
But are we gonna go on to Blue Sky or Twitter or whatever and at the people in this match are involved in this? No, because they're still people at the end of the day.
Yeah. I just write it on notes and attach them to my carrier pigeons. Just chuck them out in the world and see who finds them.
Yeah. Go find Tony Khan. Also, here's an 8-ball.
All right.
Sorry,
Anyways.
sorry. Supposedly an 8-ball. Supposedly.
I mean, the way he books it, there's an 8 ball involved one way or the other, either by consumed or just shaking one.
That's true. Who took more bumps last night, Kenny or Tony? We'll see.
Christ. No, I just think Magic 8 Ball, like, all right, should we let Mox win?
Christian interference. Who put this in here?
God.
But
Anyways,
from Momo and Monet to, I don't know how to a number one contendership.
yeah.
Let's say that.
Swerve and Ricochet, two crazy high flyers who put on a heater of a match. I loved this
There,
match.
this is a fantastic match. There is so many shenanigans in this match in a weird way that I'm like, what are they doing? And I'm like, what are they doing? But in an interesting way,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously we have Ricochet who comes out first, who a few weeks ago stole the robe jacket. I don't know what you would specify it
It is.
as.
They kept calling it a robe.
A robe that Nana Persona wears down to the ring. Um, Ricochet stole that and embroidered his own logo
Mm-hmm.
onto this entire jacket. And Nana was pissed, obviously, and this is causing some difficulties between Swerve and Nana
Some
because,
tension,
again,
yeah.
two different individuals seeking two different pieces. One is a title shot, the other is his robe back. And I know what you're thinking. It's a robe. Who cares? It's a kind of a big plot point with this match.
Yeah. Well, and I think because the implication of it is like his actual like prince robe, like this is like royal regal attire kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Mhm. And there are moments in this match where trouble happens. Like,
yeah, Swerve and Nana kind of get into it at one point because Swerve shoves Nana down. Nana just leaves ringside entirely, flips off Swerve and just fucking dips. And then
Swerve accidentally hits Nana and everything.
yeah, there's a lot of weird fumbles. It's like one of the like they're using all the same tropes of like when a tag team's gonna start breaking up, where like they're not on the same page, they're like hitting each other, but Nana's not a wrestler, so it's just essentially the wrestler's inadvertently beating the shit out of his manager.
Well, I mean, I can see it like this and why there's like going to be a little bit of tension, but I don't see this obviously leading to anything because I think Swerve would be okay on his own, and I think Prince Nana could find someone or something
Oh,
to do.
100%.
I just think these two work together because when her syndicate debuted, talking about like Nana and Swerve are gonna stay together because they're family. Family argues, family bickers,
Oh yeah.
families fight. So I think that's one reason why like they're allowed to do this without the potential of them breaking up
Yeah.
because it's family first.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, I don't think anything will come of it. I don't think there's a payoff where they split because, again,
Mm-hmm.
they've got lightning in a bottle together. But it's like because we have watched for so long, we are conditioned to recognize the signs that have been there for decades. And they are playing into that pattern recognition of like, there's tension, there's infighting, they're accidentally hitting each other. One of them's leaving the other to deal with it themselves. Like it's all of the tropes that are indicative of a tag team breaking up.
Yeah.
But I agree with you, especially with the way that match ends, where Swerve wins. He grabs the robe, he folds it up nice, and he drops to his knees and hands it to Nana. Nana picks it up, picks him up, hugs him, and then drapes it over him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these two are thick as thieves at this point, and I agree. Both of them could do fine without the other, but they're so much better together.
Very true. Very true.
And I do think if they ever do push a turn, I think not like if they are gonna split, Nana has to be the one to turn on Swerve.
Oh, 1,010%. Like,
Because then you keep Swerve as a face and you have him just, like almost lost and alone for the first time in who knows how long.
mhm. And I do have a little bit of an issue here with this, and we kind of talked about this a little bit last night. The finish of this match, where
Oh,
Ricochet
yeah.
took not one
Two house
but
calls.
two house calls and kicks out at two. I like Ricochet a lot. I like Swerve a lot. I think, especially because it felt like an exclamation point on the second one. If you're trying to build Ricochet up, that's fine. But I feel like busting out big pressure in that moment was interesting to get the finish because it's like he
Yeah.
didn't know there was no other offense after that.
Yeah.
So
I think what would have been better is house call 1, kicks out at 2. House call picks him up, big pressure pin. You don't need that second kick out on the house call, right?
yeah, no,
Like, because
I
you convey the same message of I hit him with a house call, he kicked out. Now I have to hit him with both of my finishers before I feel confident to pin him again, rather than I hit him with the same move twice, he kicks out twice, even though most people wouldn't, to then have to use the ultimatum.
yeah. Which again, I would be fine with, because like last night, I believe we didn't get a spirit gun from Ricochet. We got a
No.
few. We got we had the apron Meteora. We got the Avalanche Hurricane Rana. I believe we got. Did we get an Avalanche? I don't think we got an Avalanche Sunset Flip, but we got like a lot of Ricochet's repertoire here, and then
Mm-hmm.
of course he's busting out old stuff. But I'm just hoping this builds towards something for Ricochet, because again, he's a very annoying heel, and he's getting better on the mic too.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of hope he keeps a lot of the potential sexist comments to a bare minimum or not at all.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to throw something out there. You know what they need to do with Ricochet?
hmm.
Put him with Stokely.
I like that.
Because I don't think Stokely's doing anything right now, and I feel like those two are just similar enough that if you made Stokely Ricochet's manager, it would be really, really solid.
Oh, for sure. But again, I'm very happy Ricochet got a lot of time in this match to showcase. Again,
Mm-hmm.
he deserves it. Swerve, of course, picking up the win. We love to see it.
Yeah.
I love seeing Swerve in the title scene. I love seeing the potential of another run back. Not another run back. A run at Mox, potentially.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's going to hold on to that title shot until All In. I don't see why he would. I could see him using it Dynasty, but it doesn't specify that he has to.
Yeah, he is just the number one contender. He's next in line. Where they pull the trigger on that, we don't know yet.
Yeah, so we'll see is like the thing. Because I would
Again,
prefer.
I see it at Dynasty just because of the fact it's the 1 year anniversary since his last title. So if they're going to give it to him, you land it on the anniversary pay per view.
That is very much true. I can agree to that.
Plus,
But yeah,
if
no.
plus if the rumors are true that they want to possibly give Darby a run as world champion, Darby could beat Swerve more likely than Darby could beat Mox in the Death Riders.
No, I would be okay with that. I think running the potential of, let's say, Swerve wins at Dynasty. I would like to see it. Um, Swerve wins at Dynasty. You give that build up of Darby versus Swerve, and you have that like storyline, that lineage that they know each other so well because again, up and down the road a little bit, and then just being in this company for a good period of time, the both of them,
Well, in both Seattle trained, if I'm not mistaken,
both Seattle trained, and
or Seattle born.
they also have history of going way back to when Nick Wayne was signed too. He was
Yeah.
Darby's student. It's like families have been involved, so I don't think it'd be like the worst thing to.
And on top of that, Darby beat Swerve in a coffin match at the first All In.
Also true. We
So
could
run
get one
back a
more.
singles match at All In. There's a
I
lot
wouldn't
you
be
could do
mad
with it.
about it.
There's a lot you could do with it, and I think a lot of people would be much happier with that than Mox it All In.
Now we'll call this a pivot, I guess. From I guess the last of the elite as of right now, or
Yeah.
just kind of like elite lists. We get an interesting match here. I call it
Yeah.
interesting because I never thought we'd really kind of see these two wrestle against
Yeah,
each other.
Okada and Brody King for the Continental Crown. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, Brody King's doing well for himself right now
mm-hmm.
because you're the hound. What was it? The Hounds of Hell.
Hounds of
The
Hell.
Hell Hound. The Hounds of Hell. No more Malachi, unfortunately. You
It makes
have
me so
Buddy and
sad. I love
Julia,
Malachi. I love them all, but
but
like, God, Malachi had such an aura.
but yeah, this was okay. I am gonna make one comment towards this. I didn't say it last night. It felt a little weird seeing him in pants.
Yeah,
Brody King. I was like, because he has like the chain wrapped around his pants, everything on the obviously printed on the tights. He wasn't wearing chain, but I was just like, I like you more in the
in the
traditional
trunks.
trunks
Yeah.
because you see all of the art, all of his tattoos that tells the
Mm-hmm.
story. But I was like, fine. He made it work. He killed it.
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to see more of this going forward with Okada. I like seeing this where it's
Mm-hmm.
like anyone can challenge that title and it's not like deeply embedded with a story. It's like
Yeah.
I like seeing him face Brody because man, did he sell for Brody last night?
Oh my God, dude. That the reversal on the Rainmaker was stupidly good.
It was so good
Like the ripcord, the arms back, and Brody's goes, "No, my arm," and just smokes him, dude.
because Brody had his discus lariat, his actual lariat,
He's a
his
big dude. That thing would fucking hurt.
his cannonball, like
Yeah.
hell, even suicide dives, like whatever he wants to bust out, he can.
Yeah.
That's what's like really cool about talent. Like I don't like saying nowadays, but it's like there are a lot of like talent you kind of just don't see for a long
Yeah.
period of time. They're like
Like
big guys doing big shit.
the tropes of the olden days are very much gone now. Where like you go back to early, like late '90s, early 2000s. Like if you're above this height and this weight, you're never climbing the ropes.
Yeah.
If you're below this height and this weight, you're basically always going to be a high flyer. And
Hmm.
like that's changing where you get the skinny guys that can strike hard. You get big guys like Brody that are like, I'm going to just dive at Mach 6 and you better catch me. Like,
That
and
that's
it's
one of
great.
the things. But I feel like if you have the right opponent, obviously you can tell a good story, and then you could also, you're gonna be taking a cannonball. You're gonna get like the boss man slams. You're gonna get that.
Hmm.
One of my favorite moves he does is the outside the ring. He puts you in a chair and hits you with a running crossbody
Hmm.
against the guardrail. I love that because it just looks nasty
Oh,
and
yeah.
it definitely hurts, but it's like it's so good.
Hmm. Yeah, no. And I mean, you got all of that and more. I think my other favorite thing, I love that Okada is, I won't say a comedy gimmick, but he's leaning into like a little humor still in his matches, and I love it. Because my favorite thing is because back in the day, right, it would always be like the big hug with Chaos or like the best friends with the snap zoom.
Yeah.
But because he's just by himself, right, like the low pan, hey, and just flipping off the camera, it's so perfect.
Yeah, because I think what it is, and I could be wrong here, he was in New Japan for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I think him being in AEW now, it's like you're not restrained to doing New Japan stuff. You're allowed to be a heel and do comedy stuff. You're
Yeah,
allowed to, you know, one of our favorite quotes is just him going, "Bitch."
bitches.
Yeah, it's like, or like he's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry," like all of this stuff. You're allowed to be silly, you're allowed to be comedic, while
Yeah,
also being fucking Okada. Let's
yeah.
like, you can't remove that. You're Okada, goddammit. Like you're gonna win matches because
It's a
just
really interesting comparison,
do
but I
it.
think he's finally doing what Kenny's been doing for a long time, which is in the ring, you bring it here all the time. But on the mic and outside the ring, you can play like you don't have to live in legend status forever.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I also like because this is like again, it doesn't feel like an AEW thing, but I like when wrestlers emote in the ring when they're about to get hit by moves and everything.
Hmm.
I equate this to like MJF and Ricochet specifically, where it's like you're about to get slammed, you're gonna have a reaction to about to get slammed,
Yeah,
and you're gonna yell things. It's like I kind of want that level of either storytelling or just reactions.
yeah. It makes it feel a lot more real in that sense.
Because I believe Okada maybe did that once or twice last night, where it's like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, he cares about this, which is super
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I mean, when you see the size of somebody like Brody, you don't want to get hit by that shit either.
Yeah, very true. But
Yeah.
as all tales come to end, Rainmaker does the finish.
Oh yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's a fun match, and I like that we're getting more of those interesting matches with Okada. I think everyone seeing that on the card was like, it's going to be probably like everyone's like, oh, that'll be an interesting match. There's no way in fuck Brody's beating Okada though.
No,
Like
without
Brody's
unless
on a
there's
roll. He's not rolling that hard though. Like,
yeah, unless there's outside interference or something. It
which since
unfortunately
it's
doesn't happen.
technically Continental Crown, there can be no one at ringside
Exactly.
because it's still even when it's not part of the tournament, that holds true for that. So
Hmm.
even if the Bucks or Jack Perry were to come back, they couldn't have done it that match anyways.
Very true. But yeah, I hope Brody this doesn't slow Brody down,
Oh, I
or
don't think it will.
I just hope we don't move on from this too quickly in terms of just like him being on TV because I love seeing him on TV. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He can cut a pretty solid promo, and of course you have Julia and you have Buddy in the shadows lurking.
Hmm. I
So
think honestly, what you do, assuming everyone's healthy, let Buddy and Brody take a swing at the Syndicate for the tag titles.
I mean, you might as well. You
Because
kind of
Buddy,
have
Brody, Bobby, and Shelton sounds like a phenomenal match.
because I mean, there's similarities there. You have one who has pure strength, and you have other that has speed and technical.
Hmm.
On both sides, you have Sheldon is technical,
Same with
and he's
Buddy.
still yeah, same with Buddy, and then obviously call it what it is, the strength factor of
Yeah.
Brody and Bobby. It's
Yeah.
like they will throw you the round and they will just hit you with everything.
Yeah. It's meat and it's speed, and that's all you need.
And to quote our friends in air quotes, he's never met us. Big E, big meaty men
Man
slapping
slapping
meat.
meat. Yeah. It's phenomenal, man. But speaking of the Syndicate, shortest match of the night against the Outrunners, but still a good match.
Going back to the 80s.
Yep.
People my
Dude,
80s.
I said it last night when we were watching, but man, when the Outriders first showed up, I was like, I really don't care too much. Like they're in like I'm like, it's an interesting gimmick, but like I had no investment into them. They've really grown on me with time. Like they got over organically, they just did it themselves. And like it's paid off for them. They got a title shot out of it.
Yeah, because they are a tag team that got over organically from like working either Dynamite or Collision or
Yeah.
the long forgotten other AEW shows that have been
Yeah.
canceled. They were in front of a live crowd. They were doing silly things and fun things, and then that results in what we have right now on TV. It's like they're working,
Hmm.
and it's unfortunately one of those matches where I didn't see them winning, of
No.
course, because you want to build Bobby and you want to build Shelton, but man, these two individuals who have been wrestling for 20 plus years outside of AEW just still look fantastic. I'm gonna let Chris say what he said last night about these two individuals.
Nope. I know where you're going with this. I was
No,
like, what are
I'm
you on
not
about?
gonna say it, Chris.
Yeah, neither am I.
No,
We're gonna move on.
but no, like still having the ability to throw people around Bobby, or
Yeah.
like Sheldon scaling the ropes to like get up there for like a suplex or something, just very quickly, very seamless, very clean. It's so nice, and I
Oh
love
yeah.
it.
Well, and like the big thing with it as well is like, and I said this last night, of like, it's so nice seeing good matches from Bobby because the only Bobby Lashley match I have ever seen before this was the DQ finish with Lesnar at
Mm.
Mania 39.
Was it 30?
39 or 38.
I think it might have been. I don't know, because I believe at 39 Brock faced not Obafemi, Omos, and then at 38 he's facing Roman. Because at 38, that's
Oh,
when
it might
Cody.
not have been Mania. Oh, was this Chamber? This might have been Chamber 22.
Okay, because I was about to say, because I don't remember them actually crossing paths at Mania. There's supposed to be them crossing paths at Mania, but I don't think it ever happened. I could be wrong though. The little asterisk right here, right here, right here.
I don't remember. I can't remember when it was, but uh,
But no. I do believe it did happen, because again, it's a very like, you really don't book that as a match. You book it as
it was Elimination Chamber. It was
was
Chamber of the
it?
year of Mania 39.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, no, it is strength, power, resilience, and then he does one of my favorite spears, I will say,
The roll through.
because when he hits someone, yeah, he rolls through. It's like the momentum is still carrying him. It's not a full stop because he's getting ready for his next point of offense, and which I think is very cool.
Yeah, it's a very interesting take on the spear because everybody else it is like a movable force meets unstoppable object, and it's just bam, bam, right?
Yeah, or like I think look at the variants. Of course, you have Bobby, who does a roll through. Ricochet, who did like the split, and then like he's like fully in the air too, and then he just drops, and then again ready for more offense. I think having variants of a very simplistic looking move is always fantastic.
Yeah.
I will say I hope we get Buddy and Brody against these two.
Oh yeah.
Not that the tag team division is lacking. I just hope we don't. I have nothing against them. I just hope we don't fall back into FTR. Is the main
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll hold on to that belt for a while. I looked it up. They're only on a 46-day run. Top Flight had it for 84, so they'll. My guess is they'll if they're gonna lose it soonish, they'll lose it at all in.
Yeah.
To who? Who knows? But
I mean, Private Party held it for how long?
like 84 days or something. It's only just about 3 months.
That's not bad, especially
No.
because Private Party earned those titles
Oh yeah.
after beating the Bucks.
But that's why I'm also saying like, if they're gonna lose it soonish, a 3 month run. They got it in January. You lose it in
April.
like yeah April. It lines up pretty good. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I honestly I had a weird feeling that if they were gonna come back, this is when we would have seen the Bucks come back. But the Bucks are
No
still
Bucks.
nowhere to be seen.
No Bucks. But from one uh 80s level ending to
The
a Hollywood
50s.
ending,
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of ending, this should have been the main event because
this
the way
should
that
have been.
match ended, if you had panned up on that final shot and put the copyright, would have been cinema, dude.
This match is probably my favorite. You again, Chris can vouch for this. I say going to this was probably my favorite match of the night. It was because of storytelling, because of longevity, because of this was the perfect rubber match to
It was.
end an entire story that started like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Tony Storm,
Um,
Mariah May, false count anywhere. No
I
DQ, no holds barred. And man, no bars were hold. Holy shit, this match is
these
brutal.
these two did not hold back, and it was fantastic to see. I will say, Tony, you're never gonna see this. You might see this. Don't go so deep next time when
Oh my
you.
god. Yeah, Tony busts herself open, and it is a deep cut because like there's at one point pretty early on after she blades that she is sat in the middle of the ring. She sits up, she wipes the blood from her face, and immediately it is replaced again. And you see her scream fuck, because I think that's the realization that she's like, I cut way too deep, and this is going to be a way harder match now because of this.
Yeah, because I think at that point that's when they go get the buckets and they get the glass and everything.
Yeah.
She looks mad, like genuinely, like not at Mariah May, but like angry at herself or just mad in general because of, again, for those who have never had blood or like even sweat in your eyes, it obscures your vision heavily.
Yeah, and it apparently blood stings like a motherfucker too.
Yeah, because it's the iron and everything from the
Yeah.
blood getting in your eyes. But this match, you even got Luther involved. He took a table bump pretty much, and he was dead.
Yeah.
Because
Luther
I
got
think you
Luther got drop kicked over a table full of champagne glasses.
and I think you either hear like Aubrey or a producer someone go, "Are you okay?" or something. It's like, which is crazy to hear because it's
Yeah.
like a hot mic is a hot mic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my favorite spot of this entire match though
Is
was
it the champagne glass low blow?
it was it was not the champagne glass level. That was a good. It was like the build up to the Hollywood ending sign, of course.
Mm-hmm. The shoe.
But to do the shoe to start where you began to finish where you started is you have Tony holding back once again
Mm-hmm.
because again this is Mariah. This is someone she birthed into the world. Not really, but you know what I mean, storyline
Yeah.
wise. She hesitates, and then Mariah, of course, doesn't hesitate, but she stops. She's like, "Fuck it, fine. If you're not gonna hesitate anymore, I'm killing this." And then she just boom, 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 until Mariah May is just gone from this world, and then Storm Zero.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite moment of that match is because like shit kicks off top of the ramp. Like Tony's coming down, Mariah's like, I ain't waiting. And as soon as they get up there and the fight starts, because there's the big sign that says, the Hollywood ending. And then they grab it and they flip it up and the reveal that it's a fucking table. I was like,
And
holy shit, that's
it's
sick.
really cool.
You know what I half thought was going to happen with this match?
Hmm.
And it's a weird, like, it would have worked, like, what I'm about to say would have worked perfectly in the pandemic era if this had happened. Because it's Falls Count Anywhere. My gremlin ass was like, what if they fight at the Hollywood sign? Because they're in fucking LA.
Yeah,
Like,
because I feel like you could get permission to do that. It would cost Tony probably a little pretty penny, but I think he would spring for it.
yeah, like, it would have been that thing of, like, they just start brawling and, like, it just literally just scrapping through the streets. And then it's, like, the pin on the Hollywood sign and then, like, the drone pan out. It'd be like, that's, like, peak pandemic filming there.
Because I think if this is pandemic, you just get a cinematic match, which isn't a
Yeah.
bad thing.
Yeah, it'd be
but I
like the
think
Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse match, like something a little different, a little quirky, but still good, right?
yeah, but
But
I think again, this is still, even though they only got 13, they made these 13 minutes fucking
yeah,
count.
it's short, but also when you see how fucking battered they are by the end of it, it's like, yeah, you don't want this to be a 20-minute match. You need them to still be safe. Like,
Yeah. Also, I would never take that glass spot ever of taking a bump in broken glass. And keep in mind, it's not like shards, which would also be shards would be worse. It is that very
that
like
ground
grind
down.
down.
Yeah.
Like it is just you're going to have to get in there to get rid of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Never in my life. I'll take thumbtacks. I'll take whatever. No.
Well, yeah, we'll get to the thumbtack spot that I don't think I'd ever take, but we'll get to that in 2 matches. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, but literally, this is the point from Tony down the next two. If, like I said, if you had switched, hell, even if you switched Tony in the main event, if you had ran Mox Cope and then Kenny Takeshita, Osprey Fletcher, Tony and May, this would have been damn near a 10 out of 10. It would have been
Yeah,
perfect.
no. This match in itself. No, I'm sorry, not this match. Again, this block of matches is probably three of the best matches in a row that I have ever seen.
Yeah,
Because
agreed.
it's like banger after banger after banger.
It really is just Sheamus energy.
Yeah. But I think it's time to get to our boy, you know.
Yeah. I love him to death. God, I fucking wish he still had Battle Cry as a theme, because I miss hearing that.
So obviously he has a new theme. I think it's called Take Flight. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I will say this: it is the nerd in me. It is the Final Fantasy fan in me.
Yeah.
Masayoshi Soken does do his theme, and I was like, bro, you can't do this to me. You're one of my favorite composers. But I think for a match like this, where he's back, he's wrestling a one-on-one against Takeshita, I feel like Battle Cry would work perfectly.
Yeah. It is that big fight feel still with the song he has. Like, and like, I think for those big rivalries and those big matches, yeah, sure, absolutely run the Final Fantasy one. But on a week to week show, bring back Battle Cry, because that will get such a good pop on TV.
Yeah. But man, Kenny Omega is back.
A 28-minute match that feels like a lifetime in all of the best ways, but also in some of the scariest ways, because man, they really worked his midsection, and that shit scares me, man.
Like I guess like he's okay with it. He's fine with it. Obviously, if he wasn't, they're not bumping that area.
But how much they bump it is the scary part to me, because it's like, yeah, you're okay with it, but what happens if something goes right?
Yeah. So it's like, can we stop this, boys? Can we not do this anymore? But
Yeah.
these two, bread and butter,
Oh
cheese
yeah.
and toast, like whatever, whether like peanut butter and jelly, like these two know each other.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the only better the comparison would be like him and Osprey or him and Okada.
Mm-hmm.
But Takeshita, oh my god. I want to see him win a world title. Nothing against having this championship. But man, is he a hard hitter? Is he like powerful? Is he
Yeah.
quick? He's everything, and it's so fucking dope to see these things.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me very happy. But
Yeah. Like,
again, the midsection work was very
that one spot when the table's sideways, that
Mhm.
scared the shit out of me.
I also didn't like the spot right before that when the table is on its belly or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and Takeshi about drops him on the leg of the foldable table. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's like you can't fake getting poked in the ribs by a metal rod at that
No.
point. Like
Oh my
that
god,
shit would
yeah.
hurt.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to say it. There's two things. Like, this match is phenomenal. It is a great match. And of all the things to follow Tony and Mariah, it is the perfect thing to follow it,
Mhm.
because it carries that excitement and that energy. And it really builds the suspense, because that crowd gets quiet at points in that match. Because, like, I think everyone was worried about Kenny. Like,
Yeah.
like you can feel the tension of, like, this is not a fight. This is a fucking manslaughter. For like the first half of this match, you're like, Kenny, just lose. Like, please, just like, if you're not set to win, just call it. Like, but the two issues I have with this match, one is we didn't get Justin Roberts's like long-winded Kenny introduction, and I was really hoping to hear that North Carolina, like, you know what I mean? Like, we got none of that, and I'm like, ah. Also, Don Callis interferes with this match like 4 different times, but each time he's not interfering, he's running back to be on commentary. Just stay ringside, my guy. Like,
Because they bring this up obviously in between matches.
yeah, it's like shit or get off the pot. Like, if you're gonna be a nuisance at ringside. Like, we don't need you trying to play double duty here.
Yeah. But man, from just oh, the
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sami Zayn. You've it's not it's his Blue Thunder Bomb now. Like you both do it a certain way, but oh my god, Takeshita.
Yeah. Dude, also, I mean, the thing we haven't acknowledged, despite all of it, Kenny's a champion again. Kenny hasn't held a
Oh,
belt in how
oh yeah,
long?
no, 2+ years at this point.
Let's see. Because, let's see. The last
The last
time, I mean,
the
world
last titles
title's
they
been
held,
forever.
the last titles they held were
Trios, right?
their second stint as Trios champions.
Which was
Obviously,
January 11th of 23 to March 5th of
yes,
23. So it's been, yeah, 2 years
yeah, two
since he's held
years.
gold. Jesus
That
Christ.
is insane. But hey, he's champion again, and we're rolling into the peak of the season, and I kind of want to see who comes after that belt
Yeah,
because
like
there's a,
Kenny with
there's a lot
gold is always fun because man, Kenny's already like the litmus test of skill.
of
Kenny with a belt, oh my god, dude.
Kenny with a belt is so
Because you
fucking
can
good.
run so much. You can run Hangman. You could run Osprey since he doesn't have gold right now. You could
Oh,
like
and one more thing we should add on to this though,
mm,
Kenny does have gold. He didn't win with the one winged angel though.
no, he didn't.
It was a roll up.
Yeah, a really weird like back and forth like schoolboy roll up win,
Hmm.
which I mean it's interesting because like he is gonna have to change up his style a little bit now because like he said it himself, he's lost a lot of core strength, man.
Yeah, because that's also something that you you can't fake surgeries. You can't fake, you know, diverticulitis.
No.
And people are like, "Oh, he's never gonna wrestle again." Haha. No, there was a good chance he was never gonna wrestle again because you're losing inches of your intestine from your body,
Yeah.
and that you can't fake that. It's like I'm very happy he's wrestling again. I would have been of the group of if he's never gonna wrestle again. Oh well,
Yeah,
he's
it
he's
would
still
it would have bummed me out, but I would have been like, if the other option is he's gonna die in the ring, I'm letting him enjoy life.
yeah, he can go on and live a life and be fine.
So I'm scrolling through the roster of like who would I want to see go after that belt, and I've got a short list already.
Oh hell yeah.
Hangman,
Yeah.
Hangman Kenny for another singles title outside of the world title would be fun because we haven't had them duke it out since the original world title run, I think.
Since full year.
So Hangman is definitely on there. Honestly, either of the Hounds of Hell would be fun. Buddy or Brody.
Ooh, true.
Buddy or Brody would be good. Where the fuck were the other ones? In a really interesting way, Ibushi would be really interesting.
Oh, I would be upset about Ibushi. There's a lot of
Shibata's another one. Honestly, any of the ops, Hook, Shibata, or Joe, I'd be down.
Oh, we should mention that real quick. So we didn't cover the beginning. The ops were hanging out, I guess. Technically you could say all night because they cut to them on the pre-show and they cut to the main event. The ops are just hanging around.
Yeah, they're just you got Joe Hook and Shibata just chilling up in a box like at the top of the arena, just
Yeah.
watching. Like not they didn't specify like they were like they're looking down, they're learning. It's like A, learning what, B, about who, C, why.
Yeah. So they're just kind of hanging out.
They're just chilling, dude. Like my guess is it's gonna be Ops versus Death Riders at Dynasty or All In, and hopefully that will wrap the Death Rider story. But who's to say?
We have to wait, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we have to wait. Unfortunately, the Death Riders are still a group, and I just found out when I looked at the roster while we were talking about all this, they still have the fucking trios belts,
Ah, they do.
which means for like the second time this fucking lineage of these belts is being messed with because of stupid bullshit. Because the trios belts, in my opinion, are the most like, you know how everyone talks about like WWE's women tag belts being like the cursed belts that like someone gets hurt or something goes wrong and it messes with the story. That is the trios titles.
Yeah, no.
The trios titles have had, in my opinion, one good reign.
Yeah, no. I can see that.
One, maybe two. And those are the House of Black, because they did something different with it, and Death Triangle. And it sucks because Death Triangle only has it, like, and even there's a little asterisk on theirs, because the only reason they have it is because the fucking Elite got suspended.
True.
And, like, the Acclaimed are fun. They should not have held those belts for 238 days.
No. No. Because pointless.
Yeah.
It's idiotic. It's dumb.
Like, the full lineage is the Elite for 3 days, Death Triangle for 126, the Elite take it back for 53, lose it to the House of Black for 175, who lose it to the Acclaimed and Billy for 238, who lose it to the Bang Bang Gang for 83, to the Patriarch for 36, and now to the Death Riders for 196.
Yeah.
Ongoing. And it's like, that belt is cursed. It is so, like, it should have been so good with the tournament and, like, Hangman being in that internal struggle of like working with the Elite, working with the Dark Order. They were set up for success, and then everything went to shit.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon Stadium. It's taken out on the word go. Like,
It's a good call. It's a good reference.
Thank you. It makes me. I'm mad. I'm angry.
All right. We'll move on.
We'll move on before I pop a vessel in my skull.
From Takeshita and Kenny to again a storyline that's been building, brewing, and stewing for a good period of time.
You say that Tony and May is your match of the night. This is my match of the night.
That's fair.
Ospreay and Fletcher in this cage, despite all the shenanigans near the end of this match. Oh my god, this match is awesome.
Again, but I will say, it also has a definitive ending too. It is not a could we see something in the future? We could, obviously, but it's like
Yeah, the only story going forward from both this and Kenny's match is that Callis family is on a losing streak again.
So you of course mentioned Don Callis, of course, being a commentary. Don Callis entirely leaves,
and then comes back out.
5 minutes later, he comes back out. He gets on commentary again, and I believe it was Shivani.
As
That's
Taz.
Was it Taz?
Yeah, Taz is like, why did you just stay?
Yeah, why did you just stay? And he's like, I had business to conduct.
Yeah, like, I had a debrief after the match.
Yeah, but yeah, Fletcher comes out, climbs to the top of the cage, looks just phenomenal. And then we get an EDM show for a good minute.
Oh my god, yeah, the seizure warning that is this weird like prelude to Elevated.
Yeah, and then we get Elevated, and Ospreay comes out, and he climbs the cage with such ease.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my favorite parts of the match, because it's before the match, is there's a stare down. They hate each other.
Yeah, they're standing in opposite corners on top of the cage, full height, just dead-eyeing each other.
I'm gonna kill you. This friendship is dead and murdered. And then they both delicately, of course, because they're on top of the cage, both delicately and the safest way possible climb down inside the ring, which I just think is funny because it's like this is the prelude to hell. They're gonna bloody. They're gonna beat each other. It's like, but we have to be safe here, guys.
Yeah,
and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, but this whole match, man, like, because you get all the fun moments of a cage match of like the high flyer learning that he's restricted on his springboards because that cage is right up on that apron, right? You get, things like that. You get another match where somebody cuts way too fucking deep because Ospreay is fucked up in this match.
Yeah, like it's just this. That's it. And then you progressively,
or even even if you go coast to coast with it, you don't go coast to coast. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah, or you go, I'm not ready yet, brother, and then you do it, and there's a chair already.
Yeah. God, shout out to Deadlock. Oh my god.
It's out the deadlock.
Yeah. But yeah, like you get, there's so much in this match, and then you get Mark Davis coming out, bolt cutting the lock and handing Fletcher a bat, in which Fletcher does not, I think, ever once use that bat, because I'm pretty sure Ospreay takes it from him immediately.
Yeah.
Barbed wire
He goes
wrapped,
to
and they
potentially
beat
hit
the
him, but he
shit out
missed.
of each other.
Yeah. And man,
Right. And then Davis
another
gets in the ring, tries to fuck it up, still doesn't manage to take the win. And then you get the scariest spot of the night for the finish.
oh yeah. I like that I called this because I was like, I couldn't think of any other move you could do up there,
No.
but it's still dangerous. So we get a top of the cage
Spanish fly.
Spanish fly, which is pretty much I'm gonna hold you, you're gonna hold me.
And we're about to do a backflip together
We're about to do a
and hope
backflip
no one
together,
breaks a rib.
and we're not gonna land on our feet. Good luck, and then they just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is literally so Fletcher tries to stab Osprey in the head with a screwdriver, smokes the turnbuckle, runs up the side of the cage to get away. Osprey follows. They do a back and forth of like trying to stab each other with the screwdriver. Chucks the fucking screwdriver off the cage, and that bounces somewhere.
Almost could have pinned and hit a fan,
Yeah.
but
And
they
then they
didn't.
Spanish fly off the top of the fucking cage. But the best moment of that match isn't the top of the cage spot. It's the halfway up the cage Oz cutter out of
Oh,
fucking
for
nowhere.
sure.
Oh my god, Osprey just being like, I am like halfway up this thing. Fuck you. And just
Yeah,
smokes him. And it's
I yeah,
perfect.
I know where you are, Fletcher, and I can trust the process here.
Oh
And
yeah.
hits it to perfection. And then to end the match, we get a hidden blade, but right beforehand, storytelling at its finest.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
Like
hitting
it's
you
like the it's it
fucking
you know,
movie.
everyone talks about with like Sean and Rick, right? Of like the I'm sorry, I love you. This is the flip of like fuck you and die. Because it is
Yeah,
Fletcher on his knees, literally being like, I hate you. I've always hated you. I want you to fucking die. Like, just over and over. And he gets through with this little string of insults. And Osprey's like, night, night. And just fucking smokes him.
it kills him. He's like, fine,
Yeah.
I'll like,
You want to be done with me? Cool. Let's bury the hatchet with you inside the hatchet. Just
yeah.
fucking smokes him.
And he just smokes the fuck out of him.
Yeah. It
And
is.
again,
Oh, it's so good.
this was another match of the night, or could have been the main event
Mm-hmm.
because, man, it's obviously up and down the road. Said a thousand times, a thousand more. These two, chemistry wise, is unmatched. Because
Phenomenal.
again, you know they've tested spots on each other, they've tested moves on each other. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
if I were to hit you with this, what would you do towards? If I were
Yeah.
to hit another person with this, what do you think they would do? That's why Fletcher works now, because he's trained under the best, and Billy goes to find his skills because he's had younger students, friends
Yeah.
that you can learn from. Because you can always learn new things in wrestling.
Oh, yeah. But
But
yeah, just that match is phenomenal. I'm excited to see the fallout with the Callis family now that his
oh,
two
1,000%,
because
yeah.
Fletcher and Takeshita were Callis's top two in the family, without a
Mhm.
doubt. Hobbs and well, I guess Hobbs isn't with him anymore, but like Mark Davis and everybody else that's kind of tethered to him right now are like the secondary subsidiaries, but
Yeah.
those were his two. Those are the two that he praises to the heavens. Those are the two he's always at their matches ringside. He's always talking about, strategizing and planning and training these two. And they both got their ass kicked tonight or last night. So what happens from here?
Yeah, because I feel like you have to either set an example or you have to make a decision of what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, they're your two top stars, but it's like, do you really make an example out of Fletcher, who beat up Osprey? Do you hold over that you still have beaten Kenny so many times, but he's now taken Takesha's title? It's
Yeah.
hard to say. I just hope they don't disappear like until like All In. Like I kind of want to see where you guys are the next night or Wednesday night at least.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dynamite after.
Yeah.
Knowing Tony, usually how it's always gone with Callis specifically is we won't see it the Dynamite after, we'll see it the week after that. Usually it's the second Dynamite. Like anytime Callis has won or lost a major event, they usually book him to have some in-ring moment the week, like 2 weeks after the pay-per-view. That
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's a trend, but it's almost always been a thing of even when Takeshita won. Like the only time it was different was the week after All Out because you had All In, All Out, the next Dynamite. Callis is there going twice in 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the only time they've ever broken that formula. But any other time the Callis family's been prominent in a pay per view, it's 2 weeks after the pay per view that they show up.
True.
It's weird. I don't know why, and I don't know why I've paid attention to that closely, but that tends to be the trend as far as I can remember.
Now after not the first or the second, or no, not after the first, the second canvas change.
Yeah.
We
So
roll into the main event.
so I'll pull the curtain back a little bit here. We write out in like Discord the order of the matches so we have our way of talking about it. The way this is labeled is pre-show in brackets didn't happen, shut up, because I refuse to acknowledge the Costco things happening. And then you have all the matches we've just talked about. And then I just have ETH featuring Christian. Because that is about the reaction we had last night. Featuring is also spelt wrong, but we don't worry about that.
Yeah. This was a match. I'm gonna say it now, and I said it last night, and I don't have any regard of how people feel about it. This is a WWE match disguised as an AEW match,
Yeah.
and from the mid 2000s. This is you can see the styles. It's like this is what you did for a long time, Cope, and then you're doing to Mox as well, where it's
Yeah.
like the oh they're doing these type of bumps and everything, which again that's your livelihood for a long period of time. You're obviously not going to change up too much, but even down to the fucking ref bump, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, this match is 26 minutes. Like we said it with Tony and May. It's a 12 almost 13-minute match that 13 minutes feels so much longer. This is a 26-minute match that feels so much longer for all of the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pacing is slow, it is dragged out, it is essentially Mox beating the shit out of Copeland for 24 minutes. Cope gets a bit of offense on like a handful of spears. And then the shenanigans that ends it in bullshit. Because it's like
Yeah.
most of this match is Mox has it in his hand with no backup. And then Cope mounts an offense. Mox gets huffy, grabs a chair. The ref rips it out of the chair, out of Mox's hands. The ref takes a bump, gets smoked in the head by the chair he was trying to get rid of. Yuta comes out, and they kind of tease, is he going to Busaiku knee Cope? Is he going to hit Mox? Who's he going to pick? He fucking picks Cope, so he's still aligned with Mox despite everything they've done to try and pivot that. Jay
Mm-hmm.
White comes out to try and even the odds, mishits, smokes Copeland with the fucking briefcase. They almost go into the finish. Christian comes out, signs his contract. First off, hits Copeland, which should DQ the fucking title match. Then signs the contract. Then cashes it in. Then gets choked out in a minute and a half. Almost pinning Copeland by putting one hand on him during the Bulldog to get ripped out, knocked the fuck out. Match ends. Mox retains with all of the bullshit that has pertained to the Death Riders, even when all of the Death Riders are knocked out except Yuta.
Yeah. And I wanna say I did have a favorite part of this match. It is that moment where Jay White does smoke Cope and he realizes he's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that's funny. And he fucks off pretty much with Wheeler, but he fucks off. And I was like, oh, buddy, I'm very
Yeah,
curious if this is going to get
because he's
referenced.
standing there looking at Copeland, eyes wide, just mouth shut, like, fuck. Like, that is the best part of that match is Jay White's reaction. Not his actions, but his reaction to his actions.
So, yeah. So, the thing of we have that noises about Christian specifically as well. He's held that cash in, that chip,
For,
that I don't know
it's
contract
yeah, that
for
contract.
months.
He's had that, I think, just a little shorter than, because he got that just before or just after Darby won the Royal Rampage for the title shot that Mox took from him.
Yeah. But it's like
Christian has had that shit has predated Mox's title reign.
yeah. So it's like why? And it's also I would have loved what would have saved that match, me personally, what would have saved that match would have been the bullshit pin that Christian
Yeah, if
put
he
on.
had snaked that, would have been awesome.
That would have been incredible because like you could have him 1, 2, 3 and he passes out. He still wins. He's knocked out, but he's your new champion. You
Yeah.
get the belt off of Mox. You potentially throw Cope down the ladder too, where he doesn't have a number one contendership because he did just lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Christian maybe transition
To Swerve at
to
Dynasty.
Swerve or Dynasty, or even he holds it till All In, and he loses to Darby.
Yeah.
If Darby's going to be the challenger at All In.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's like, wrestling is storytelling, and there are so many avenues you can take. And somehow we picked the worst road out of like 50 possible outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
In that the champion that most people are not super happy with the plot line is still champion. And it's like Mox is still champ. Christian's title shot is burned. All of this just to not make Copeland look weak by not taking the pin.
That's what it is.
That's the outcome we got, and it sucks.
It is saving your two competitors that you don't want to take a pin in this match, but you make them look horrible because you've done nothing with this match. It's a nothing.
It is. And it's like, if you look at the other ways this could have gone, the ideal scenario, in my opinion, the perfect way this would have ended, is this 26-minute match would have been the two of them full aggression from start to finish. Tire the fuck out of each other. Copeland beats Mox. Christian cashes in. And I hate to compare it. Heist of the Century is not a horrible way to look at it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You come in and you snake it, because that would have been the second time in their run together that Christian has taken a title away from Copeland via a contract.
Oh, for sure.
It would have been great.
Or you have Copeland win. You have Copeland win, and then you have Christian kind of, come out, haha, I'm going to do it again, and then loses. Then you can still build towards Edge and Cope and Christian again.
Yeah, you could do it, like if Copeland wins, you either have Christian snake it that same night, Christian try and snake it and lose and reignite that rivalry. You let him hold on to it for now. Or, assuming everyone would have been healthy enough to do it, Christian come out, try and do it, and Lucha turn on him and take that shot for himself, win or loss regardless. Right? And reignite that part of the story they've lost. Or, if the plan has always been Christian's not going to win that shot, let him cash it in at a point that makes sense. Like, if Mox was always destined to win this match, like, let him beat him clean. Because the other issue people have had is how much the Death Riders make Mox win. Right? If they should have got, if there was no ref interference and Mox beat Cope clean, there would be no complaints on my end. I would have been annoyed that, like, okay, he's still champion, but at least he won it without the fucking Death Riders, without inside interference, and he actually pinned the guy he was supposed to fight.
Yeah, it's coming across, and I don't like making these comparisons. it's a discount bloodline.
It is.
Like, because it's like I have all these people who are protecting me and this little trinket. Because again, we haven't seen the world title in a good period of time
Yeah,
because
it's
it's a
just that
briefcase.
briefcase.
So the title right now is a trinket because we don't know. I imagine, of course, it is in the briefcase, but we don't know if it's in the briefcase because that was mentioned on commentary last night. It's like it
Mm-hmm.
might be in the briefcase. Like it would be dumb if it's not. But yeah, it's very much. I want to move away from this. I don't want Mox because for a good period of time we love Mox. I still love the person, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to move away from him being champion because
Yeah.
this company has so many wrestlers that could be champions, but please just stop. Please. But
Yeah, like if you look across all of his runs from the early days, he's 277 days in like heart of the pandemic, basically, because that's his first run with it. So 277 plus another 70 on the interim plus actual during the Punk fiasco. So it puts you at like 347 or so. Another 59 after he beats Punk again
so
because of the
400.
injury.
We'll say
So
400.
yeah, call it 400 there, and he's at 148 now. Like this guy's had on and off 2 years as champion.
So there's a good chance going into Dynasty additional 30 days. So we're at what, 600 days?
Pretty damn close, yeah. But like, yeah, like it just. I think the other big frustration on my end is it. It really insults the intelligence of the viewer. Like like Mox winning, it's like whatever. I kind of had a feeling Mox would win. The part that burns my ass and pisses me off the most about this is the failed cash in. Because he walks down the ring. He's not running. He shows up at ringside, looks at Copeland and goes, whack, signs, cashes in, and throws. My issue with this is the fact of like, if we are supposed to suspend our disbelief and kayfabe is real, he hasn't been shown all night. What the fuck marathon was he running that he gets choked out in a minute and a half?
Also true. And also, shout out to Luke for, at that point, when it happened, pointing out a very good aspect. He hits him with
He hits him
I
with
guess,
the contract before he signs it.
yeah,
That
it's a
should
DQ.
DQ the match, and then he sign and then enter against Mox, not turn it into a triple threat.
So it's like, it should be a one-on-one against him and Mox at that point.
Yeah, the order of operations should have gone the other way. It should have been Cope, like it should have been him signing it. Then Cope go, "What are you doing?" Whack. He like, you know what I mean? Like make it one motion.
Yeah.
Not crack open, pull out the pen, sign it, hand it to him. Like it's so ass backwards. And it again, it is the only match that is bad on this card. It is such a sour point on what could have been a 10 out of 10 pay-per-view. If you had, again, move it further up the card, because then you would have forgotten about the disappointment. If you switch Tony and that event, you get a lot of good matches. You get kind of the cool down match where everyone's like, this kind of sucked that this is how this went. Oh, but now we get to watch Kenny and Takeshita. Oh, now Ospreay and Fletcher. Holy shit, what a way to end this. And you would have had the dip in the middle rather than... It's the equivalent of you've rolled a roller coaster this way and you're excited for the ride, and then they just kill the power. Like, it sucks, man.
It's just bad.
It is. And and I've said this last night, and I've seen people in other spots that I watch or like that I've read through talk about it. This is the second worst main event outside of Max and Jay White. And honestly, I might even put this above Max and Jay White. Like it's almost interchangeable to me.
Yeah, because I think if you put this match in the middle of the card, and this doesn't interfere for you, I think it's whatever. It's like,
Hmm.
that was a bad ending. But we have more matches to follow. We
Yeah,
had
exactly.
nothing to follow this.
No, you had Swerve jumping off the rafters like a fucking Assassin's Creed character to land on Mox, and that got a bit of a pop. But you could feel that everyone was fucking disheartened by how this went. And like Revolution's like it's their first show of the year, not counting Wrestle Dynasty.
Hmm.
This is the first AEW exclusive show of the year. And I sent you the meme. I know you reposted it a few different places, but the last 2 years of Revolutions have been bangers. And this was
Yeah.
on the level, if not better than those, except for that fucking last match. I looked up the other ones just to see. So I'm not going to read pre show, but you get 23, Revolution 23, you get opening Ricky versus Jericho, JAS banned from inside. Jack Perry versus Christian Cage in the burial match,
Yeah.
which was the start of Perry's heel turn. House of Black beats the Elite for the trios titles. Hayter beats Saraya and Ruby Soho in the three-way for the women's title. Hangman and Mox in a Texas death match. Wardlow and Joe for the TNT title. God, back in the Hot Potato days. You get a four-way tag team match for the world titles between the Guns, the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. And then you get MJF Danielson in an Iron Man match,
Yeah.
which is fire. You go to 24. You get Christian versus Garcia for the TNT title.
Banger.
Eddie versus Danielson for the Continental Triple Crown.
Fantastic.
You get Wardlow. You get the All Star Scramble. This is a meat match. This is
Why would
Wardlow,
you get
Jericho, Hobbs, Archer, Hook, Cage, Magnus, and Dante Martin, which isn't a horrible match in the grand scheme of it. Like, if you actually sit down and watch that match, there's some good moments in that. Roderick beats Cassidy for the international title. Combat Club beats FTR in a tag match. Tony Storm beats Deonna Purrazzo for the women's world title.
So
Ospreay Takeshi in a singles. Joe, Hangman, Swerve in a triple threat. And then Sting Darby versus the Bucks in the tornado tag.
God, I love that card so much outside of the big meaty men.
Yeah, there's always one match that's going to be a little bit worse than the others. Like, even in the first one, like Wardlow and Joe, because the TNT title didn't mean shit. But the main event shouldn't be the match you don't care about. And that's the problem with this card, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. I hope if Tony's smart, and that's a big if some days, but if Tony Khan has some sense, he will change the plan. If the plan is that Mox is supposed to have this title going into All In, if he's smart, he will pivot and give it to Swerve at Dynasty.
But we'll have to see, is the unfortunate thing. Is we
Yep.
can't just say
I
he's gonna
know
make
it's
a change.
all ifs and what ifs and who ifs and how ifs, and it hurts because, God, this. It's such a bad bookend for such a great night.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I don't really care about Meltzer stars. I'm really curious to see where he puts some on these matches.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Like that main event, I'm really curious of like, what is he actually gonna fucking say about that? But only time will tell. But I think that's all we can really cover on this for now. So
Yeah. We'll be back
YouTube
soon
it.
with more content, we promise.
Yeah, we'll be back in the swing of things, especially with 2K25 being out now. I'm gonna be going feral with that, knowing me. Hopefully, we'll start getting the eFed going a little quicker this time. But yeah, as always, YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of it if you watched, and let us know if there's anything in particular you want to see us do or cover. Right, we're always down for suggestions on that kind of stuff. Leave a like, subscribe to keep up on all of it. As always, gamers, y'all have a good one.